for somebody who wasn't, like, they had background dancers, but that was it. But there's background
the girls were the background dancers? Or were they dudes?
It might have been dudes.
Ew.
But they aren't supposed to talk. And so in one play, they talk, and like the whole crowd goes like in the back. They gasp because the
Wait, they don't talk? How do they act in a play?
They set like parts of it like by motion.
You can totally do that.
Okay, you do it right now. Act out a play for us. Monologue.
It's okay, y'all do whatever y'all need to do.
Look, you're getting nervous.
Kids here.
It's almost like you can't do it.
I'll do whatever. I want to say a few things. I'm going to give everybody one of these.
You know what happened? He broke up with me.
No,
And then I cursed
you
the
were
world.
you were mouthing the words.
Okay, I was not
You
mouthing.
can't do that.
Thanksgiving and
Just hurt my feelings.
hence the turkey on the front.
And
You
let me go
know.
somewhere, because you don't hurt my feelings.
Don't read it. Don't read it yet. I'm just handing these out. It's
What? Why can't we read it when we want
procedure.
to? We're in America.
Kind of a procedure I'm going through.
We live in America, Dad.
Just a procedure.
The
read it
missing
later.
day. Dun, dun, dun.
Refill cheese.
I feel like it's going to be a really suspenseful story. What?
Honestly,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's gonna fill that up for you.
Joseph.
Don't you put me on that. I'm on most wanted.
I'm going too slow.
I was just handing those out. That's a little thing about this time while we're here right now. You know, I mean, of course, it's a time to get together with family, but there's a particular season which is called Thanksgiving, right? We call this Thanksgiving. Of course, it was yesterday, but this is our time of doing that. This little pamphlet I gave everybody, it tells a little bit about Thanksgiving, what it's about. A lot of times in this today, we've got this Thanksgiving, and we don't. A lot of times, a lot of people don't think about what it is, where it comes from, or anything. It's like we just get together. That's what we do, but we don't think about why. Why do we do this thing? The Bible talks about, when the family gets together and stuff, about talking about things about God, why things happen, and why we're doing such things. One of these things is the Thanksgiving thing, and the church, the history of it. And some of that pamphlet goes over a little bit of the history of it. But the history of it was that some pilgrims came over to America and started a nation, a great nation we know of as America. And they come here for a freedom and liberty. They started, they wanted freedom and liberty to worship. That's not the reason. I've learned recently that's not the reason they came over. They came over just because they were a Christian family and they were in a society that was not Christian, and so they wanted to get somewhere where they could be separated from all the worldliness and stuff that was that was getting influencing their families. And so they wanted a little bit of a separation there. And so it has a Christian background. I want us to kind of think about that, Christian. A lot of people say they're Christians today. What does it mean to be a Christian? Do we really know it? Do we really know what it means to be a Christian? And what's the difference? Is there a difference? Is there a difference in the way a Christian lives than, say, the rest of the world? But this day, we want to think about that we enjoy a lot of liberty and freedom today because of what these people did way back then, hundreds of years ago, and started this great nation. And it is. I love this country. I thank God for it. And that's one of the things we want to be thankful. They were thankful. They came over and met with Indians and had a great time. You know, they had a 3-day feast with the Indians. A lot of people say, oh, they were bad to the Indians. Some of them were. Eventually, they got to where they were bad to the Indians. But it wasn't these people. These people were with the Indians. They embraced them. The Indians embraced them. 3 days they feasted. That was their Thanksgiving. That was the first Thanksgiving. 3 days long. Feast, having activities together and everything. It was a great time. So we should be thankful. I'm going to read Psalm 100. It says, make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people, and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving, and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him, and bless His name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations. Christianity and being a Christian revolves around the Word of God. Now, I've experienced recently a whole lot of some people that really embrace that part of Christianity. It's the love of God, the love of His Word, you know. And what a beautiful thing, a Christian family, to get together and, you know, gather around the Word of God. You know, this is a beautiful thing. I've experienced it. I've seen it firsthand. And it is a beautiful thing, but it's sometimes so many times forgotten in people that call themselves Christians, but are not living that way. To where we get around, it's a wonderful and beautiful time to gather the family around the Word of God, read the Word of God, and then talk about the things of God. You know, that's what Christianity is. It's that our lives revolve around God, or rather, that God revolves around our family. He's everything. He's an application to everything, not just a little part where we go to run off to a building once a week or something and spend a little hour and listen to a little message, maybe have a little Bible study. No, it's an everyday happening affair in Christians. Christians are to be loving the Word of God and to love God and want to influence one another. Because if we don't, guess what's going to happen? What is happening to our generation? We're losing them. We're losing our generation to the world, to everything. Nowadays, atheism, agnosticism, everybody puts God on trial and says, well, is there really evidence of God? That's the going thing. Joseph and all these, y'all know it. Joseph, you experienced it in college. You see it. Atheism is on the rise big time. Agnosticism, everybody wants to question God. Who are we, the creation, to question whether there's a God? Do we act, we're going to put God on trial? What is that? How are we going to put the Creator of all things on trial? But that's what's happening. That's what's happening today. Is there a real God? Of course there is. It's obvious. You look at creation, and you can tell it's obvious there is a God. Now we've got to realize, who is He? Who is this God? And He's the God of the Bible. And He's a God that loves everyone enough to send His only begotten Son, that whosoever should believeth in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. Because why? Because we've sinned against this holy God, the Creator, the one that holds His breath in His hands, holds our breath in His hands. And yet we curse Him and act like He's nothing. But this same God loved us enough that we went and rebelled against Him, but He loved us enough that we can come back to Him and be reconciled unto Him. And we can be a Christian family together. And that's the way it should be. We should want to honor God, the God that gives us each and every day, and thank Him for it. And not be ungrateful. That's the worst ungratefulness we can have, is to be ungrateful to the one that gives us all things. To God, and act as if He doesn't even exist. And that's another thing. A lot of Christians act as if He doesn't exist. They say they believe, but they act as if they don't. The Bible is not a main part of the home. Why? Why is this? It shouldn't be this way. I want to propose tonight that we, endeavor and just really purpose in our lives to do that. To center our life more around God and His Word. To put God more into the things of our lives, because He knows what we need. He's gave us instruction on every part of life. We wonder why we have problems sometimes. Maybe it's because we have